of the chapter is sexual reproduction in humans. So here I am carrying on with the part 2, that is the gametogenesis. Okay. So before, like in the first chapter we have studied in reproduction in organisms. What was the gametogenesis? It was the formation of the gametes, that is the haploid gametes, and it was a pre-fertilization event. Okay. So now here again with gametogenesis, I am going on with the bullets here. It is the process of formation of the haploid gametes. Again, learn it up, the haploid gametes from the germ cell. Here the germ cell is diploid, and but from diploid germ cell, what is the gamete form? They are in the form of a haploid cell in the gonads, and that is called as gametogenesis. So where it takes place? It takes place to the primary sex organs. If we talk about the male, it is a testes, and if we talk about a female, it is an ovary. And the gamete which is formed, they are in the form of sperm and ovum. So like here the male, when we talk about the male, so here the formation of the sperm is spermatogenesis or the spermatogonia, and it will begin at puberty stage. When we talk about female, it is oogenesis or oogonia, and it starts at the embryonic stage, not during the puberty. But when a female is in the embryonic stage in the mother womb, from there only the oogenesis starts. Okay. Now let's start with the one for the male, that is a spermatogenesis. The process of formation of a haploid male gamete sperm in a seminiferous tubules. I have told about when I have discussed about the male reproductive organ. There I have told you about the seminiferous tubules of the testes, and it is called as spermatogenesis. So what is the definition of the spermatogenesis? Formation of a what? Haploid male sperm. And this haploid male sperm is forming where? In the seminiferous tubule. And this process, seminiferous tubules, where it is? It is in testes. And the process is called as spermatogenesis. Now let's see. In seminiferous tubules, the inner wall contains two types of cells, which are as germ cells. They are of two types of cells. One is the germ cell, which we call as spermatogonia cell, and the other is the Sertoli cells. Okay, Sertoli cells. I told you earlier what the function was. Sertoli cells. It provides a nourishment to the developing of the gametes. So the germ cell divides and develops into sperms, and Sertoli cells give nourishment to the developing sperm. So what is the two function here? First, the germ cell, what it is doing? It is developing into what? Sperm. And the other cell, what it is doing? The Sertoli cells, it is providing the nourishment to the developing sperm. So now the spermatogenesis takes place into two stages. One is called as spermatidogenesis, and other is spermiogenesis. Okay. Now let's start with the first phase, that is called as spermatidogenesis. What is spermatidogenesis? It is the process in which the formation of spermatids. See, it is a process in which the spermatids is formed. So firstly I will go on with the bullets, and I will be explaining you this whole flow chart diagram. So what is spermatidogenesis, spermatid formation, and it forms two stages. One is multiplication phase, and other is the growth phase. So what is multiplication phase? The spermatogonia undergoes repeated mitotic division. Firstly they will go for mitotic division, and secondly, then after mitotic they will go for meiosis. Why the mitotic division is occurring here? It is for the proper growth and development. Okay. So undergoes the repeated mitotic division and forms a large number of diploid spermatogonia. So here spermatogonia is what? Diploid. Okay. So spermatogonia is what? It is diploid containing 46 number of chromosomes. And why it is diploid? How it is formed? Because it is going up with the repeated, spermatogonia is going with the repeated mitotic division for its growth and development. So now the second phase is the growth phase. Now this spermatogonia, which has gone with the repeated with the growth and Okay, so now let's come up with these 2 points here. First is the multiplication phase. In multiplication phase, you can see here it is 2n. 2n, that is diploid, 46 number of chromosomes. So here the spermatogonia, which is 2n, it is going up with the mitotic divisions. So this spermatogonia undergoes the repeated. See here the mitotic division has occurred. The 2 cells are formed, which are diploid. Again this 2n will goes with the mitotic division. This is 2n, and the other daughter cell, which is again going to a mitotic division, it is again with 2n. So now the cells has been here with increase, and they have grown up with the increased number, and they all are diploid. Now this is called as spermatogonia. Now this spermatogonia undergoes with a proper cell growth. Okay, it will goes under a proper cell growth. How the cell growth is occurring here in spermatogonia? The increase of the cytoplasm occurs. Okay, in this spermatogonia, the cytoplasm will increase, and then it will take into a part that is called as primary spermatocyte. Now, this primary spermatocyte has to develop into a gametes, and these the gametes, because these are the germ cells. Now the germ cell has to develop into a what? Gametes, and the gametes are haploid. Till now the stages what we have started, they were all diploid. Now this primary spermatocytes undergoes what? The reductional division. And you know that in reductional division, the cell division is known as meiosis. And there will be 2 meiosis occurring, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So this primary spermatocyte undergoes meiosis 1 with a reductional division. They will be called now as secondary spermatocyte. See, 2n is now n and n. Reduction is there, and now it is called as secondary spermatocyte. Now this secondary spermatocytes undergoes further meiosis 2, and now they will make here as spermatids. Now these spermatids, 4 cells are formed which are haploid. Now these haploids or spermatids will go with a proper cell and division, and they will form a sperm or called as spermatozoa. Now see, the third phase here is maturation phase. Now this diploid primary spermatocytes, I have talked to you earlier into it. If we goes to the previous one, so this primary spermatocyte with meiosis 1, reduction division, secondary spermatocytes. Secondary spermatocyte with second meiosis will form the spermatids. So now here the diploid primary spermatocytes undergoes meiosis first, resulting into 2 equal haploid cells, and they are called as secondary spermatocytes. And the number of chromosomes which was going up into 46 in the primary one, but now into a diploid primary one which is going into meiosis. Now it is with 23 number of chromosomes. This later undergoes with secondary meiotic division to produce 4 equal haploid spermatids. Now this spermatidogenesis you have understood. Now let's go with the word known as spermiogenesis. What is spermiogenesis? Inactive non-motile spermatids are transformed into an active motile sperms. That is called as spermiogenesis. And after spermiogenesis, sperm head, which is embedded in Sertoli cells. Now they are released from seminiferous tubules, and that is called as spermiation. The difference always comes. What is the difference between spermatidogenesis and spermiogenesis? You know spermatogenesis, in which the formation of a haploid spermatids are formed. Okay, and what is spermiogenesis? It is what when the non-motile spermatids are transformed into an active sperms or spermatozoa. see what are the hormones that is responsible and how this spermatogenesis and hormones are responsible. GnRF, gonadotropin releasing hormone. Okay, GnRF is an hypothalamic hormone. It is an hypothalamic. Okay, you know about thalamus, hypothalamic hormone, which is released from the anterior pituitary. In 11th class, I have told you about the posterior pituitary and anterior pituitary and the hormones which are released. Even that also we have discussed in class 11. So this gonadotropin hormones, they are released from the anterior pituitary. They are the two ones. One is the LH and other is the FSH. LH is the luteinizing hormone and FSH is the follicle stimulating hormone. So what is the function of LH? LH where it is moved to the Leydig cells where the androgens are produced, and these androgens stimulates the spermatogenesis. Then follicle stimulating hormone, they are forming the follicles, the Sertoli cells, which are responsible for the secretion factors. Why the word here written is a secretion? Because Sertoli was providing the nourishment. The secretion factors for the spermiogenesis. So see, there is a great difference between spermatogenesis and spermiogenesis of the hormone. So this LH is responsible for spermatogenesis for androgen stimulation, and here in spermiogenesis, follicle stimulating hormone is responsible for the secretion factor in the Sertoli cells. Now see, you may see this picture. Okay. In this picture, you can see the spermatid nucleus. See, this is the spermatid nucleus. They have Golgi apparatus, and here the acrosomal vesicles. You can see a small wood. You can see. Okay, and here also so you can see the Golgi apparatus with the acrosomal head, and now you can see the centroids. Further, the development will occur the microtubule. See, the formation of the microtubule will occur near to the centroids, and they have a small flagellum. Okay. Now further, see the acrosomal head. It is now forming up. See, you can see this, the nucleus where the acrosomal vesicle is there. Acrosomal head is forming up, and what the mitochondria is there. Why mitochondria is there? Because they are providing the energy. They are the powerhouse of the cell. So further the formation you can see. See, this is the acrosomal head. The nucleus is there, and this is the neck is there, and the tail is there. And further the formation will be excess of cytoplasm is here, which is moving up. And finally, this is the exact mature structure of a sperm, where you can see the head, middle piece, and you can see the tail. Now let's see the structure of a sperm. See, this is the structure of a mature human sperm. They have an acrosome here. Then this is the head with a nucleus containing chromosomes. Then we have a middle piece which contains a mitochondria, because mitochondria is providing an energy for this sperm to swim and to move towards the female gamete. And this is the tail. Now let's come on to the next one, that is oogenesis. Okay, so let's come up to the oogenesis. What is oogenesis? Now this is, we are talking about the female one. So oogenesis is the process of formation of a haploid egg or ovum from a diploid oogonia. Okay, so there we have talked about spermatogonia, which was diploid. Now here the germ cell is what? It is an oogonia cells, from which an egg will be formed, and that is called as ovum, which is haploid, and it will develop in the ovary, and this is called as oogenesis. Now let's come up for the further begins of the embryonic development. I said it will not occur during the puberty of a female. It will start from the embryonic development when a female, when a girl, when a fetus is there inside the mother. Okay, it is in the womb. So here it is written the embryonic development. So the gamete oogonia, the gamete mother cell, which is 2N. At the birth, many millions in fetal ovary. So gamete mother cell is 2N in oogonia, and at birth, when the female birth occurs, when a girl child is coming up, so they have millions of fetal ovary. Next, see the primary oocyte. In primary oocyte, prophase 1 of the meiotic division will occur, and it is a temporary arrested in this stage. Next, primary follicle formation will be there. Primary oocytes plus granulosa cells are there. Many follicles degenerate from the birth to the puberty. There will be the follicles which will degenerate, and it will degenerate when it is into a primary follicle site. Okay. So what will happen in puberty? I will tell you, because of this condition only, female after 45 to 50 years, they are unable to produce and they cannot go for a pregnancy process. Why? Because of this factor. Sperms produced by a human man, it is at the end of the death. But for a female, they, from the embryonic development, the follicles are forming, the cells are forming. But when the many follicles degenerate from birth to the puberty, when they come, each ovary, there are 2 ovaries are there. I told you pair of ovaries. So when I talk about one ovary during puberty, hardly 60 to 80,000 oocytes will be present. So the age continues, goes and goes and goes, and then what happens? 45 to 50 at the age of a female, they goes for a menopause, where they stops producing the eggs, because you can see the level of a primary oocyte over here. It is 60,000 to 80,000. Okay, this is the concept behind for that. So now let's come for the secondary follicle. Secondary follicle, how it is forming from primary follicle? They are surrounded by the granulosa cells and hair. Now tertiary follicles, how they are forming? There is a point for tertiary follicles. Secondary follicles, fluid filled with antrum. Theca layers are there, theca internal vasculars and theca external fibrous, which is there. This I will tell you in detail along with the figure. This is only a flowchart what I have made. In tunica interna, okay, there are 10 to 15 layers of the follicles are present. Primary oocytes are 2n, in which they will increase with size and first meiotic division will occur, where they form a haploid secondary oocyte, which is, and they have a first polar body. And in secondary oocyte, they will be rich in nourishments with the cytoplasm of primary oocyte, tertiary follicles into Graafian follicle, secondary oocyte ovum into zona pallidum, and Graafian follicles ruptures and release the ovum. Okay, now let's see over here with this diagram. Let's see over here. See, this is a development of the follicle. This is an ovary. Okay, this is a primary oocyte. Okay, you can see here the primary oocyte is there. Okay, here it is what the development of the oocyte and the follicles are occurring. Then after that, what it is continued development of the primary oocyte. Then the primary oocyte, it is going to the secondary oocyte, maturing follicular stage is there. And this after follicle, this is the stage which is called as ovulation, where the rupture of the follicles will occur. It is at the 14th day of the menstruation cycle when this egg will be released. And this is called as the fertility time of a female. Only this is the day out of 28 days. Okay, the egg will be released, which is called as ovulation. Rupture of the Graafian follicle and release of the ovum is called as ovulation. Then here further the corpus luteum will be formed. Then degenerative of the corpus luteum will be occurring over there. Now let's come again with the flow chart. What I have discussed is oogenesis. Oogenesis is what? The formation of a haploid female gamete, ovum. Okay, in the follicles of ovary is called as oogenesis. How the oogenesis starts? Told you earlier, it will start in the embryonic stage. Now next, germinal epithelium of the ovary, they divide mitotically to produce what? Millions of gamete mother cell, GMC or oogonia. So oogonium here it is there, which is no oogonium formed or added after birth. Got it? When a female had its birth, there will be no further formation It will goes for the meiosis one, proceeds with the prophase one, and get suspended and form the primary oocyte. Okay, this primary oocyte during puberty restarts to the first meiotic division. What happens? This primary oocyte, which is these oocytes which are formed, okay, after meiosis one, after birth. So like during puberty, when a girl has its first period, okay, during puberty, what happens at that time before the period, the primary oocytes will form, okay, and it is going up with the first meiotic division. Then secondly, oogenesis further takes place with three stages: multiplication phase, growth phase, and maturation phase. Okay, so now let's come up with the multiplication phase. These three phases we have studied in spermatogenesis also. These three stages will be same in what? It will be in oogenesis also. So let's start, but there is a slight difference you should know. In multiplication phase, certain germ cells, primary germ cells, they enlarges of their germinal epithelium and undergoes rapid what? Mitosis. Here see 2n is there. This oogonium is undergoing with rapid mitosis, mitotic division. First two cells are formed 2n. Further they are divided with mitosis to form 2n, 2n, 2n. See, these are all called as diploid oogonia. See, these are all called as diploid oogonia. Now, each group of cells are forming a large, after growth and development, they will form a large mass of egg nest. They forms like a large mass cell which is called, just looks like an egg nest, and it is called as a primary oocyte 2n. Okay. Now, with the growth phase, it is a long duration. 12 to 13 years. One of the diploid oogonia. They could see here the diploid oogonia. It goes and increases itself. Cytoplasm and yolk are transformed into a large oogonia, which is called as primary oocyte. See, this is a primary oocyte which is diploid. Now, this primary oocyte, what it has a single layer of follicular epithelium. It is called as primary follicle. This primary follicle is have a granulosa cells, and it is having a secondary follicles. And this secondary follicles have antrum cavity, which is a fluid filled, and now they are called as lastly as a tertiary follicle. And this tertiary follicle named as graphene follicle. So how many types? There are three types. First is the primary follicle formation will be there, which is a single layer. Then this primary follicle is surrounded by more than granulosa cells. They are called as a secondary follicle. Now this secondary follicle slowly and slowly they have a fluid filled, and they will form an antrum cavity. And now it is called as a graphene follicle. This tertiary follicle is called as a graphene follicle. Now see, in maturation phase, a fully primary oocyte will go. This primary oocyte will go with the first meiotic division, and it will form two. One will be the larger secondary oocyte. This is a larger secondary oocyte which is haploid, and they will form a first polar body here as N. This first polar body has no sense, it will degenerate, or it could be provide as a nourishment to the secondary oocyte. It is always a question mark regarding to its degeneration, degenerative part, or to the nourishment part. Okay, till now it is not responsible with any exact reason. Now this secondary oocyte again will go with the meiosis 2, and it will divide into a second, see this is a polar body, and again it will have what? A large massive cell here. See, this is a massive cell, and it will be called as a ovum. Okay, and this ovum, this will degenerate, and this ovum, single haploid ovum, will act as a male gland. So what is the difference between the male and the female? In male, all four cells will be forming spermatids, but here only one cell is forming an egg cell. Others are polar bodies, they were degenerating. Okay, so now during the oogenesis, four cells are produced. Among of them, only one is functional. See, if we see into a previous one, so how are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Got it? So out of 4, only one was functional, which was called as a otid, and 3 were the non-functional, that polar bodies. And the otids were very large and basically taught during the counseling periods also, and like it is important to the sex education also. Okay, so let's come up to a menstruation cycle. What exactly is a menstruation cycle? It is a monthly series of events that are associated with the maturation of the oocyte that changes into a follicle. I told you earlier, na, from a primary follicle to secondary follicle and to the tertiary follicles, that oocytes that are changed in the follicles at the average of 28 days. Okay. So the day one of the cycle begins on the first day of a period. When a period, what is a period here? It means a period when a girl is not fertilized with, when a girl egg is not fertilized with the sperm. Okay, so that egg, it will be acted as what? As what? Useless. So what happens, that egg will it will be break down along with the endometrium layer of the uterus, and they come out from the female's body in the form of a blood and clot, and that is called as a period. So any of the month when this period will start, that will be counted as a first day of the cycle. So separate follicles will start with this process at the same time, and usually only one of each. Only one will reach to the ovulation and others will degenerate. So I told you what was the ovulation, and I told you about that ovary one. So how that egg was released? By the rupture of the Bruffin follicle on the 14th day of the period of the menstruation cycle. What it was? That was called as an ovulation. Okay. So menarche. Let's talk about some of the terms. Menarche. During puberty, when a female has a first menstruation cycle, the first menstruation cycle which begins at puberty is called as menarche. What is menstruation cycle? The events of the cycle starting from one menstruation till to the next is called a menstruation cycle. Okay, after every 28 days. And what is menopause? I discussed about menopause also. It is when the menstruation cycle stops at the age. It ceases means stops at the age of 50 years. This phase is called as a menopause. Now let's come up to the menstruation cycle. Menstruation cycle has its phases. The first phase is the menstruation phase. Day 1 to day 5. 5 days are there when there is a menstruation flow occurs, where there is a breakdown. Learn it out. There are the two things in the menstruation phase which is breakdown. One is the endometrium lining of the uterus, and second is the egg. Why the Then the question arises, and you will ask, ma'am, why it is the endometrium lining of the uterus will break? Because see, I told you earlier what is pregnancy. It is the implantation of the blastocyst. When zygote is developing into 32 cell stage, it is called as blastocyst. This blastocyst, when adds to the uterus endometrium, it is called as implantation. But if there is no blastocyst, nothing is there, so this endometrium lining will also break. Next is the follicular phase. It will start from day 5 to day 14, and in this primary follicles, the Bruffin follicles. In this secondary point, the primary oocyte finishes the meiosis 1. I told you now, and that will start at the fetus form, and it becomes a secondary oocyte with the polar body. Endometrium wall of the uterus also regenerate. See, menstruation is occurring. The blood is flowing up, it is coming out, all that endometrium lining breakdown, it is all coming out. But what is happening at the back? What is happening there in the ovary? It is not like once it is gone up, again later on it will develop. No. So once this menstruation is running up, later on from day 5 to day 14 there will be a developing state. What? Again Bruffin follicle will be there. Then the endometrium wall. Again the uterus will plan itself, because it is happening from day 5 to day 14. Okay. In day 14 is what? Day 14th is what? Day 14th is the release of the egg. Okay, so there it requires a uterus also to plan itself and to prepare itself. So they will form the endometrium lining. The follicular phase releases in the gonadotropin. What are in there the follicular phase? What it is releasing? LH and FSH. LH and FSH is increased. This causes a luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone are released from gonadotropins. What they are working? They are working with the follicular growth and releases what? The growing follicle produces the estrogen. The other hormone is called as estrogen. Then the LH and FSH now onto a peak in the middle of the cycle 14. Why they are onto peak? Why this LH and FSH is onto a peak? Why the factor is growth on the 14th day? Because what? At that time the graphene follicle will rupture and release what? The egg. Okay. Now let's come up to the third one, ovulatory phase, which is only ovulatory. You got it? It is only work onto a day 14. Okay. The rupture of the graphene follicle releases what? Ovum, which is called as ovulation. Now the last phase is luteal phase. It will start from 14 to 28 days, and in this the remains of the graphene follicle which is get converted into corpus luteum, and this corpus luteum in the endocrine glands produces another hormone which is called as a progesterone hormone. Progesterone hormone helps in maintaining what? It helps in the maintaining of the endometrium layer of the uterus, and it is necessary for implantation. See, progesterone is also called as a pregnancy hormone. If progesterone is released and it is found out in the urine, and if you check onto a strip and it is giving an indicator, it is also called as a what? The pregnancy hormone. So like here the progesterone is released, it will maintain the endometrium wall of the uterus. Why? Because if an egg is fertilized onto a 14th day, so after that the zygote will be converted into a blastocyst layer which needs to come and stick onto the endometrium layer of the uterus because it needs to be sticked, and that is called as a pregnancy. Okay, so it is necessary for implantation. Now you can see here. So here are the phases: follicular phase, ovulatory phase, 14th day, and luteal phase. Okay, follicular phase, primary follicles, secondary follicle, vesicle follicles, they are forming up. Then ovulation phase at the day of 14, see this graphene follicle is ruptured and release of the ovum is showing. Then what a luteal phase, formation of the corpus luteum is there, and again it is degenerating the corpus luteum. This is called as ovarian cycle. Now you can see here 0 to 5 days, it is a menses is written, the periods are there in which the endometrium changes are occurring, the graphene follicles are forming also at the back, see, and then after 5 to 14th day, it is a pre-ovulatory day. Pre-ovulatory day means the day before the release of the egg. See, this is all forming up the graphene follicle, and this is on to the 14th. You can see here on to 14. This is a color you can indicate. You can see it is on to a 14th. The release of an egg is occurring. Then corpus luteum, and here it is the degenerative, which is from 14th day. After means 14th day, that is from 15 to 28 day. Okay. So here the level of the estrogen will be more in pre-ovulatory day, and the level of the progesterone will be more after the ovulation day or and after the ovulatory day. Now you can see here, this is the thing. Okay, let's start with, this is primary follicular formations, late primary follicular formations. See, you can here see this, and now this is the primordial follicles. Then the primary follicle forming at all the area. See, the late primary follicle is forming, then secondary primary follicles are formed. Graphene follicle is now, this is a complete form. Graphene follicle is there in which you can see the egg cell. Now here the rupture of the graphene follicle is there, release, this is an ovulation day, the release of an egg. Now this is converted into a corpus luteum, then it is corpus albumina, and then it will further degenerate. Okay, now let's see here the walls of the uterus. You can see here the perimetrium. Myometrium is the middle smooth and perimetrium is the outermost. You can see here, further I have taken from the NCERT this figure. See, this is first to